Hey everyone, I hope you're doing really well. Everything's going good here. It's a beautiful day and it's cool. It's 60 degrees. It's sunny. The air is clean. We had horrible wildfire smoke yesterday. A big wildfire was not that far away from us, and the sky was almost black for a while. So it's days like this that I am just so grateful for clean air. And also we had the well pump for the big well that services our entire community go out over the weekend, and we were ordered to shut off all of our irrigation for several days while that got repaired and replaced. So we're just now getting to run our water again. We're going to be able to mow our lawns. You're going to see things maybe looking a little bit shaggy, but I did get a huge delivery of mulch, a truckload of mulch dropped off. It's not as dark as the black mulch that I normally use. It is aged fines, but they said it was a kind of at the bottom of their load, so it will still have to age out. It's a little bit more brown. So I am going to be planting and mulching and bringing you guys along. Today I'm going to be planting this trio of Tea Clipper David Austin roses, which I picked up from Heirloom Roses. I have purchased a lot of roses from Heirloom in the past, their own root, and I've had good success with them. They are a little bit expensive, but the beauty of own root, I buy grafted roses as well. The beauty of own root is that if they were to die back to the ground in a harsh winter, especially where I live in zone 6B, that they will still come back true to their variety. So they won't come back as the rootstock and then you have to rip out the whole rose. That's just one of the benefits of own root. But again, I buy really good rootstock directly from David Austin and other rose growers as well. But I was able to get my hands on 3 tea clippers and I really wanted this variety, so I'm going to plant those up today. So here's a little update on the terrace where we're going to be working today. It has recovered so beautifully from the shock of the horrible heat that we had. I have mulched part of this bed. I planted 3, you can see 1, 2, 3 David Austin Wildeve roses the other day in mulch, and I was going to plant Mary Rose. I have 3 of those also, but I decided on Wildeve because I was able to get a hold of them. And it's a beautiful pink rose. I'll pop a photo of it up on the screen. And my youngest daughter's name is Eve, and so I planted these in honor of her. I have one of them already in the front, and we'll be adding, I think, 2 or 3 more next spring that I ordered directly from David Austin. So I obviously want a lot of them because I do really like this rose. And then I planted my favorite variety of Nepeta, which I discovered in the Rosarium's display garden, which I will pop the name of that up on the screen because it's escaping me at the moment. But it gets like 36 to 40 inches tall. It's the tallest Nepeta I've seen. It has a really upright habit and these beautiful large trumpet lavender violet flowers. And when it is fully mature, I'll show you a couple of them that I bought that were bigger, that you'll get to see the flowers are really large when it's a full grown plant. So I've speckled these around, and yeah, everything is just looking so much better. I did have deer come through here though and chew down to the base, the red campion, and they've chewed on some of the roses and things, but like everything, like this cat's meow Nepeta that I cut back in the heat, the lavender all the time that was like looking really scorched, like the sky. Oh, everything looks so happy and healthy, so much better. We're getting the recovery. The tall Verbena bonariensis is all blooming and looking good. And then my first little experiment of planting in the wall of this woolly thyme is a success. It looks really great. It's taken well. So I'm going to be planting just like this in every nook and cranny I can in this entire huge rock wall. So let's get to work. Okay, so we are mulched and we are finished planting in this area for now. I will do my best to kind of point out what's here. I've cut back some things. Deer have munched on some things. Here's some beautiful coreopsis. So I planted in the back. There's one, but there are 3 tea clipper, roses. And they're all at the very back of this border, in amongst foxgloves, and then that nepeta is Souvenir d'André Chaudron catmint. And I have several of them planted around here. So I'm really, really happy with this. It's harsh lighting right now, so it doesn't look its best. And then I'm gonna see if I can get in close here for you to see. These white foxgloves are South African foxgloves that I started from seed. And I kind of dotted them around this border. They were one of those seedlings that I left way too long in the trays and totally neglected. But even so, even planting them very, very late, they're still growing. Here's another one right here that doesn't have its blooms yet. But hopefully they'll bloom this year and next year and then seed themselves around. There's some Nicotiana Tinkerbell in the back. And this beautiful pink salvia, which I had cut back right after planting in the first heat wave. And it has reflushed and is looking beautiful. And then we have Mill on the Floss rose, which needs a little bit of touch up because the deer have munched on it, but it's putting out a lot of new growth. You can see all those nice red tips. And then over here is where we planted those 3 Wildeve roses in the back. 1, 2, 3. There's more nepeta. And in the foreground, there is the red campion, the geranium roseanne. Down at the very bottom, there's the Irish moss. More geranium roseanne. And then this Rosy Jane Gara, which is getting a little bit woolly, and I probably need to cut it back. I like it along this rock wall, but I'm kind of wondering if I need to just move it and allow that to be something lower, either some more of the cat's meow catmint, which is what this is, or, and I have that down the border, or this lower growing Gara, which I can't remember the name of, which is something that I need to get better at doing, is saving my tags and remembering them now that we're filming, so that you guys can, I can share that information with all of you guys. But I'm really happy with how this terrace has come together, and I can't wait for us to get the lawn down here. So here are a couple of that same kind of nepeta that I'm obsessed with. It doesn't have a great scent. Some nepeta, some catmint, if you're familiar with it, you know that kind of fragrance, but it's not, offensive. This is a little bit more offensive, which is, it doesn't stink by any means, but it just doesn't smell good to me. And if anything, that just, is more of a deer deterrent than anything, and it kind of helps mask fragrances, and from my experience of other more edible things to the deer that are around it. But I think this is the most beautiful nepeta that I've ever seen, with these large flowers in it. I just love that it gets so tall and it is so upright. I think that's about it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing me planting those roses and mulching up the terrace. It is slowly but surely coming together, and you'll see that my garden is such a work in progress, and there's lawn that needs to be mowed, and weeds that need to be pulled, and mulch that needs to be spread, and it's just an ongoing process. But I just love being out here. I love being in the garden. I am so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for this day, for the sun, and the fresh, clean air. We have not had a lot of clean air this summer, so it feels good to be back to normal. And anyway, I love how Monty Don says the garden is for the gardener, and I could not agree with that more. As long as you love your space and you find fulfillment in it, and peace, and good work, and getting your hands in the soil and smelling the earth, I think then it is serving its purpose. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you next time.